So I know that the title of this video is a little bit provocative, but here's what I'm not trying to say. I am not trying to say that this is a stupid tool. I am not trying to say that if you use one of these every day and you love it, that you're wrong or you don't understand tools. It's not that at all. What I'm trying to say is that if you're a brand new woodworker and you're struggling to find a good, affordable block plane, maybe you should stop looking, because you probably don't need one right now. And in fact, you might not need one ever. Pretty much everybody says that the block plane is part of the essential woodworking kit. I even made a video a couple of years ago about my 3 basic planes, and I included these as one of the essential tools that woodworkers had to have. But since I made that video, I've changed my mind. Here's the thing. Pretty much everybody says that these planes are the best to use for small trimming jobs, and that they're basically the only planes to use for working on end grain, because their low bed angle and bevel up iron makes them really the only appropriate tool for end grain trimming jobs. But you know what? I pretty much never see anybody put these claims to the test and try to find out if these planes really are better for these tasks. So let's do that. So here, we've got 3 standard woodworking planes. All the way over here is a regular bench plane. It's got the iron bedded at 45 degrees. The next one is called a standard angle block plane, and it's got the iron bedded at 20 degrees. This lower angle should make it much better for end grain work. And finally, we've got what's called a low angle block plane. This one has the iron bedded at only 12 degrees, and that super low angle should make this thing a monster for slicing through tough end grain. It seems simple, but wait a second. Go back. Block planes have their irons flipped upside down compared to a normal bench plane. So the bevel is on top, like I'm showing you here with this big chisel. When you have the bevel on top, you can only figure out the cutting angle by combining the bed with the angle of the bevel. Most people sharpen at 25 degrees. So for the standard angle block plane, we're going to add together the 20-degree bed and the 25-degree sharpening angle. And that gives us a combined angle of 45 degrees. No different than a standard bench plane. If we go over to the low angle block plane with its 12-degree bed and add a 25-degree bevel to that, we end up with 37 degrees. Now that should give us some advantage for cutting through tough end grain. But it's not so different from a 45-degree bench plane. So we'll have to test it and see how well it actually performs. To test how these planes perform on end grain, I'm going to try them with a couple different species of wood. I'll start with California Redwood. It's an especially soft and sort of squishy wood, and it's tough to get a good end grain surface. I've got 3 pieces that are all cut from the same board. I'll put them in the vise and plane them with the standard angle bench plane, the standard angle block plane, and the low angle block plane. And as you can see, the results of all 3 planes are kind of the same. The bench plane left a few lines because of its cambered iron, but those would go away with a very light sanding, and you can't feel them when you touch the wood. It's very smooth. The surface left by both the block planes is extremely similar. Smooth to the touch, no tear out, no bent fibers. All 3 of these planes are really effective on end grain. They're equally effective. But there is a big difference in how they perform in your hand. The bench plane is by far the easiest of the 3 to use because it's just heavier, and that extra mass carries it through the cut and makes it pretty easy to power through that end grain, especially if you keep your plane sole lubricated. The standard angle block plane is probably the most difficult to use, and it wants to stop in the cut most often. The low angle block plane does have more of a slicing action from its low bedding angle, but it has the least mass of all 3 planes, so it's the toughest one to push through the cut. All 3 of these planes give a similar surface, but the bench plane is the clear winner in usability. Now I'll run the same test with 3 pieces of white oak. This is an especially tough and hard wood, and that can make it difficult just to get through end grain trimming. The results were really similar to working on the redwood. All the planes left an equally good surface, but the bench plane was noticeably easier to use. It glided over the wood, produced good shavings, and left an excellent surface. The standard angle block plane wasn't very difficult to use, but the low angle block plane was almost impossible. When you look at the samples, you can actually see there's still some saw marks left from the sample that I did with the low angle block plane. It's not because that plane wasn't doing a good job, but it's just because I got tired of pushing the thing over the surface over and over again. The low angle block plane just had a hard time on this very dense, heavy wood. It was too difficult to use to be convenient. So in both these tests, we can see that, surprisingly, the standard angle bench plane is the best tool for end grain trimming. Now, the idea that bench planes are really effective for end grain work shouldn't really be that surprising. If you do any amount of hand tool woodwork, you've probably used the shooting board to trim up the ends of small pieces. This kind of trimming is exclusively end grain work. And what do we use when we're doing it? Most of us just use a bench plane. These tools have the mass and the surface area to glide on the board smoothly and power through those cuts. They're perfectly effective for end grain trimming. Now, of course, you can do shooting with a block plane. I'm sure some people do it. Me personally, I find it clumsy and inconvenient. The tool is small and hard to grip, and it doesn't have the mass or the surface area to glide through that cut smoothly and easily. I could never see myself deliberately choosing a block plane for shooting. Now, there is an exception here, which is there is a whole family of Bevel Up bench planes. I don't own any of these myself, but Bevel Up smoothers and jack planes do work great for end grain work. I've used them several times and I like them a lot. They're just expensive. But if you do a lot of shooting or a lot of end grain trimming for things like miters, these Bevel Up planes work great. If you have the coin, they're a perfect option. The other thing that you hear people say about block planes is that they're the best tool for quick, small trimming jobs, like the corners of boards. And here, I've got no argument. Whether you're using a standard angle block plane or a low angle block plane, these tools both make really short work of small trimming jobs where you need to hold the work in one hand and the plane in the other hand. They're extremely convenient. But that being said, if I were in my shop and I were already planing the edge of a board like this, and I just needed to plane off those sharp corners really quickly, I don't think I'd bother switching tools. I would just take my standard bench plane and zip those corners off really fast. It is a little bit clumsier to use one-handed, but not much, and you don't waste any time by switching tools. So when I have to do most quick trimming jobs, I still reach for my regular bench plane. So if block planes are inessential for fine woodworking, why are they so popular? Who are these tools really for? Well, I think that they're really for carpenters. Think about it. If you're on a job site and you have to do some sort of fine trimming work, like fitting drawers in a kitchen, the block plane is the perfect tool for that, because it'll do face grain and end grain, and it's small and portable. So you can pull it out, do a little bit of quick trimming, and then just stick it in your pocket or in your tool belt and carry it around with you all day. Block planes are also mechanically simple, and they have fewer parts than a bench plane. There's no chip breaker, for instance. So if you've got to take one apart and sharpen it, it's quicker and easier, and there are fewer things that could get lost on a busy job site. It's really the perfect tool for somebody who has to carry their tools with them around all day long. Now, I've got a lot of respect for carpenters because I very rarely make anything bigger than a piece of furniture. But if you're already a good carpenter, then making the transition to fine woodwork is easy. I know lots of people who have done it. And if you're transitioning from carpentry to furniture making, well, you're obviously just going to bring your tools with you, the tools that you're familiar with and you've been using every day, especially your convenient little block plane. Now, if you want to pick one of these up, you absolutely should because they are handy. My recommendation is that you get the smallest, low-angle block plane you can find with an adjustable mouth. That way, the tool is going to be extremely versatile, it's going to work its best on small end grain jobs, and it's going to be small enough to fit in a pocket and carry around with you when you need to. This little Miller's Falls one is a good example, but plenty of modern makers make small, high-quality block planes. Some of them are kind of expensive, which might be another reason not to get one. But I know some of you watching this are thinking, okay, so I don't get a block plane, but I'm trying to build up my woodworking kit. What do I get? Well, I think the most important plane any woodworker can own is a smoothing size plane like this Stanley right here. This handles 90% of my planing tasks in the shop, and it's in my hand pretty much the whole day. So getting one of these should be one of your top priorities. The problem is, I know that these planes are difficult to find for a lot of people. Vintage ones can be expensive or poor condition, and premium ones like the Veritas and the Lie-Nielsen are often much too expensive. So we're still looking for good ways to get affordable planes. But on that subject, look what I've got. This is a great neck smoothing plane, and I bought this off of Amazon last week for $37 with free shipping. And first look, not bad. Not as elegant or streamlined as my Stanleys, but it's got all the parts, it feels okay, heavy, solid construction. I wonder if this is going to solve the problem we have of finding an affordable, quality smoothing plane. So next week, I'm going to do a full review of this plane, tell you everything about it, its benefits, its shortcomings, and whether or not I think you should get it. So make sure you come on back and watch that video. And if you've enjoyed this video, I've got all sorts of more great woodworking videos and exclusive content on my Patreon page. Go over to patreon.com/RexKruger and check out the early access, exclusive content, and rewards that I have just for my patrons. They're the ones who make my videos possible, and I always want to remember to thank them. I also just want to thank my viewers, because I like that people watch my videos. So if you're watching this, thank you, and I'll see you next week.